Welcome one, welcome all, one final time this season to Pit Road Productions. The Almeida Racing League Season 6 has been a hotly contested series, and we've seen some of the best racing we've ever seen on this channel in this very league. And we go back to almost the place where it all started for us. The second time we broadcast the Almeida Racing League was at this very circuit. We are at Lédenon for the final round of Season 6. We got a couple of champions to crown, and I'm looking forward to helping with the crew to bring it all to you today. My name is Reese Gardner. Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the commentary box. A big fat hello to everybody watching on the Pit Road Productions YouTube channel, as well as Swelio Almeida's channel. Wherever you've come from, we hope you enjoy the show, Zippy.
Oh, absolutely, indeed. Good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, everybody. It's certainly an absolute pleasure to be here for Season 6 and indeed the final round of this season. Certainly, it's been an absolute belter. Myself, huge advocate for the Spec Racer Ford, and I've loved the fact that these drivers have got that experience. They've got into the car, they've enjoyed it, and we've seen some absolutely phenomenal racing. But ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. They have announced what car is going to be running next season, but we're going to keep hold of that here on the channel, at least for a little bit longer, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, Reese, it's been an absolute belter of a season indeed. I got a feeling we're going to see some very, very spicy battles today. And actually, I had a quick look at the championship standings before we went live. Rupesh Paneni is not yet here again. This could be interesting.
Okay.
Be very interesting. But before we get into that, we should probably go over the schedule. Let's indeed see where we've been, and indeed, I guess, where we're going. No, we're here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look.
Yeah, exactly. We went to Watkins Glen to start off the season, Barber for round 2, Phoenix the first endurance round of the season, and then we went to Montreal, Aragon, and Oschersleben. 3 very interesting races indeed for the first effective half. The second endurance round of the season taking place at Catalunya, Chicago Street Circuit playing host to round 8. That was an exciting one. Alton Park was one of the best broadcasts we've ever done for my money. Imola was last week, and we're here at Lédenon in March 2026 to round off the season. And it is the same format that has been for most of the rounds this season, so by now you should know what to expect. 15 minutes of open qualifying. The drivers are currently doing that. 2 15-minute heat races with a randomized invert. It's going to be the top 8 inverted for this round once again, and then a 20-minute feature with the grid set by heat 2. No fast repair and a fixed setup. As we find our way to the championship standings, Zippy, let's see where everyone stands.
But certainly, as we have a look at the Academy overall, Brian Sabowski is currently leading with 1,333 points. He's 23 points clear of Charles Krasik, who's actually been at the top of the standings for quite a while, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Trevino is in third. Dave's drivers are not in the top split. However, Ian Joyner, ladies and gentlemen, last year's season champion, he's currently there in P4. Benjamin Pritchard in 5th. Then the next top split driver we see there is Mason Kuhn, who's there in 6th. Rupesh Paneni as well. Definitely disappointing he's been absent. Certainly Alton Park. We finally got him in the interview booth and on driver count, and without a doubt, it's probably our favourite broadcast of the season. Despite the fact that driver count was lower due to the Bathurst 12-hour, the racing was nothing short of phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I'm really disappointed Rupesh isn't here today, but don't get me wrong, we're going to have more action. Reese, why don't you tell us a little bit here about the Premier standings we've got going on?
Absolutely. Ian Joyner, Mason Kuhn, and Rupesh Paneni are your top 3. But we see Cairo Enns and Tyler Harker just behind them there. They are in the club class. Barrett Brummett, the next Premier class driver, in 6th place. It looks like some pretty close championship standings going on, particularly between Mason Kuhn and Rupesh Paneni. But Rupesh, as we've said, is not here. I'm starting to wonder, Zippy, if after we brought him on camera at Alton Park, we scared him off. Please come back, Rupesh. We adore you, and we'd love to see you strutting your stuff out there once again. In the club class standings, it is Cairo Enns in front, but Tyler Harker's not too far behind. It's a 23-point gap between them. If Enns has a bad race or retires and Harker manages to run well in all 3 races tonight, we could see a potential change for those standings. Kemel Kassim, meanwhile, only a single point ahead of Felipe Pouls for 3rd place. Tuka Valkyasuo, just another 5 points behind that. It looks like our entire top 6 is looking incredibly close, but not everyone in these standings is here today, so it could be a free kick for some.
Yeah, definitely. I was just having a quick look here. Kemal Kasim has just gone into P8 in qualifying. Felipe Pauls is not currently present, ladies and gentlemen, indeed. But I do definitely want to see how it's going to go down. This is going to be one of the drivers you're going to want to keep an eye on, ladies and gentlemen. Cairo Ends, and certainly himself and Tyler Harker have been absolutely duking it out. Actually, I can't have a quick look here. Oh no, he is here. Mason Kuhn as well. Certainly he's been getting into some interesting battles as well. His dad quite vocal in the chat as well. It wasn't his mum, ladies and gentlemen. That was my mum. Made a random username through YouTube, and ironically it almost had Kuhn as the last name. So entertaining, but pure coincidence nonetheless. But let's see here. Caro's currently on qualifying right now, and you can see there he's lurking right behind Tyler Harker. Indeed, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and certainly Tyler Harker, he's got good pace, and indeed Caro's similarly had the same belief there, using him as pretty much as a scapegoat there to try and get a good draft. Ian Joyner lurking in the background behind Mason Kuhn at the back of that chain as well.
Indeed, the lap begins at Lédenon once again for these guys. It's a really interesting opening to the lap here. Super fast series of left-handers that never seem to end, and you're decreasing speed the whole time. You got to try and use the curb to the best of your ability for the best line through the corner, but then you come to a never-ending series of switchbacks that defines this French racing venue. An uphill hairpin, you got to try your best to get the exit out of there, and then run as far across the white line as you can to open up the entry to the left-hander. It's a little bit quicker than it looks. I drove the Spec Racer Ford here just the other day, and let me tell you, it was difficult to find lap time around here, especially in this downhill section. Track levels out here across the curb, very difficult to keep the car stable. You're braking across the curb to open up the entry to another uphill right-hander that brings you back out across the top of the hill. It's almost impossible to pick your turn-in point for this fast left-hander here. It's completely blind on the way in, but nail the line and you'll have a good entry to this hairpin that then sends you into this downhill diving series of S-bends. You'll be braking and turning at the same time into second gear for the final turn here, but you can carry more speed through here than you think. Gather it up on the curb, power out, and that is a lap around Lédenon. Cairo ends currently 5th on a 130.379. We'll see what he does to do an improvement. It's going to be a 130.3 for him. That is an improvement, but Ian Joyner behind gets even further into the 129s.
Yeah, certainly Ian Joyner is going to be the man to beat today. I'm actually just remembering here, BMW M2. We had the pleasure of watching that car. I do remember watching Leon Bentbelsen there as well. Indeed, I have a feeling they went 4, even 5 wide, as Bas van der Lee has gone purple in Sector 1. Is it going to be enough? He's currently in P3 overall with a 130.17, and indeed, he's gone past her by 0.03 of a second, but not enough to move him up to the position there. Mason Kuhn and Ian Joyner, the only drivers so far to make it into the 129s.
Yes, the session that I joined to test the Spec Racer Ford here, in fact, had Bas van der Lee at the top of the standings. He has certainly been putting in the hard yards to get quick around here. We'll see what he can do on this next lap. Still 6 minutes remaining in the qualifying session, and plenty more lap times to come. 1.5 minutes around here, so drivers should get 3, maybe 4 laps from here if they time it right. But van der Lee looking incredibly stable and controlled through this sequence, but you really get the sense on this gyro camera, don't you, Zippy, of how harsh the curbs are in this place.
Yeah, that's honestly, Reese, that's the biggest reason I've started to use it, because it really just show the amount of camber in the corner, and personally, myself, that adds to the fun. Certainly, if you go to Daytona, that bank section, it's absolutely insane. You would literally fall down it if you tried to just stand perfectly upright. But indeed, some good battles happening here at Lédenon, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I'm looking forward to it, but I do have a feeling we're going to see a little bit of spice going on today. Let's take a look here at some of the other drivers. Actually, just noticing Kevin Adrian not on the driver cam today. I have a feeling he is looking for absolutely zero distractions, but this man is, ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman of the group. It's Steve Saunders.
Yeah, Saunders currently 18th, second last of the drivers that have set times in the session, so he's going to be searching for improvements towards the end. Just needs to gain 0.05 of a second or so, and he'll get another position up. But if he wants to break into the top 10, well, he's going to have to find about 7/10 of a second, and he's been demoted to 19th just then, because it looks to me like we had an improvement from Jeffrey Adkins getting into 16th, and oh dear, unfortunately for Stephen, that's going to be the end of that lap.
Yeah, definitely not what he had in mind. But again, let's try and keep the theme with the more gentleman drivers going on here. We got Rich Meesters as well. Now, Rich, one of the few drivers that we do see who is rocking that VR. Fair play to him. And indeed, he's probably in terms of examples where I've encountered firsthand of drivers improving, he's probably one of my personal favorites. I remember this guy, and I say it every time. I'm sorry, Rich, but this guy used to be nothing but a rolling roadblock. That is not the case anymore. I have a very hard time keeping up with him and an even harder time passing him. But if you want to get fast, ladies and gentlemen, by all means, you need to become part of the Almeida Academy. And I actually took a look, Reese. I think it's actually down to $20 a month. What an absolutely phenomenal bargain. Ladies and gentlemen, that is phenomenal. And I just want to add as well, there's going to be somebody who's going to be watching this who's definitely going to get a kick out of this. This is way more invigorating than League of Legends ever could be. Certainly a soft hint there. Definitely go and watch Swellio's latest video. He released it yesterday about his last race for Brian Herter Autosport there. Autosport, Motorsport, my apologies. Brian Herter anyway. Racing the IMSA car, the Hyundai TCR. And indeed, I'm still jealous of the hat you've stolen from Ramsey. By all means, I'm going to have to get myself one of those. But meanwhile, Rich Meester's there. He's currently in P9 overall, P6 in class. I got to say, the club class drivers there, the likes of Tyler Harker, Kyrens, and indeed Kemal Kasim, taking over from 6th down to 8th.
Yeah, another good run from the club class drivers today. We've seen some market improvements from many drivers in that category over the course of the season. And, to continue your point, it really does speak to the value of a good coaching service. And the Almeida Racing Academy is exactly that. As you said, $20 a month. And it will get you access to the entire library of coaching material from Swellio, Almeida and friends to help you get faster in the real world and in sim racing. It's I don't think I think only common sense is going to teach you how to avoid an incident, though, and Tyler Harker just avoiding that. I believe that was not an improvement from him, and looks like Adrian Hopperhead makes a small improvement, but not in position.
Yeah, certainly that is, it's incredibly close. Looking at the timing standings right now, there's a couple of drivers there as well. There we go. Tulka Valcaseo answers back, ladies and gentlemen. He moves himself up to 2nd in the club class, indeed P7 overall. And I have a feeling as well, Bats van der Lee absolutely sneaking in there. He's obviously getting on very well with Lédenon. He's managed to put it on 2nd place now, and he's only 11 hundredths of a second behind the likes of Ian Joyner. Now, just to put it into context, Ian Joyner, last season's champion. But also as well, let's look at I rating. He's just short of 6,000 I rating, and Bas van der Lee, definitely no slouch by any means, but he's almost half that. He's at 35.28.
That's still about 500 more I rating than I have. I think if you can get anywhere around 3,500, you're really going places. But yeah, it really is drivers like Ian Joyner with those 6K plus stats that really strike the fear into your heart when you go to race them. And I think that these improvements made in hosted and league sessions certainly can translate to racing in officials. So I'm sure in the very short off season we tend to have for this league, drivers will be making sure that they get some official racing in to up their rating for the future. Mason Kuhn on board in the final 40 seconds of the session. This being a multi-race server, it's going to be a hard cut to the end of qualifying. So if you're not coming through the last corners now, you're not going to get your final lap in.
Yeah, certainly that is the case. Indeed, it actually makes it easier in some ways for organising the broadcast as well. But I got a feeling, what do you reckon, Reese? Do you think Pit Road should do something special during week 13?
That is a very good question. I would have to say yes. If it might be a bit short notice, but if we can get something together, that would be very interesting indeed. We have been throwing a couple of ideas around. We'll see where it goes. Stay tuned for more information as qualifying comes to an end here, and we can confirm Ian Joyner as our pole sitter for the first race of the final round of Season 6, and the final round using the Spec Racer Ford. Bas van der Lee is going to join him on the front row, with Mason Kuhn and Barrett Brummett on row number 2. Adrian Hopp will start 5th alongside Tyler Harker, who takes pole in the club class, chasing Cairo Enns for the championship in that class. Tuka Valkiasuo splits them, with Enns in 8th, Kemal Kasim in 9th, and Rich Meesters rounding out the top 10.
Zoltan Somontor, one of the ARA regulars, ladies and gentlemen. He's there in 11th with Jeremy Childers in 12th. Looking a little bit further back, though, 13th, we got Philip Falcon with Carlos Picagna in 14th. Kevin Adrian, actually a little bit further back than I'd expect to see him here today, but he has joined the driver cameras. Thank you, Kevin. He's there in 15th with Dominic Sayu in 16th. Certainly seen some good improvements from Dominico Sayu, depending on the venue. Jeffrey Atkins sits at 17th with Philippe Masson in 18th. Steve Saunders, another gentleman in the group there in 19th. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we don't just have one, we have 2 of the house robots. My apologies, 2 of the Almeida Academy coaches. We've got the likes of Kane Halliburton has returned, and Connor Bell making a return back as well. They're going to be starting at the back of the grid. I certainly do wish the students the very best of luck in trying to hold them off.
Oh yeah, it was Kane Halliburton actually that topped practice, so he's got a lot of pace underneath him. We'll have to wait and see how far up he can get, because Lédenon is a track that is full of hairpins, but in my experience, quite difficult to pass on. It's not the widest track in the world, and the elevation change really means that it's one line fits all through a lot of corners at this place. So be prepared for some chaotic racing here. Certainly a tightly cramped circuit built in a former quarry.
Oh, that's definitely cool. Actually, speaking of quarry, my favorite rallycross I ever did was in a quarry, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine how cool that would have been? And ironically, one of the pictures that we did get of the event, you can see this beautiful lineup of cars and somebody standing quite a distance away, appearing to take a leak, ladies and gentlemen. I have a feeling, yeah, you guessed it, that was me. And certainly, it's a good job it was a long way away.
Is that photo online anywhere?
I'll find it for you later.
Oh dear. Be very careful. Be very careful.
That's all right. I'm not facing the camera. You're all right. You got the good side.
Right. Fair enough. But we still know it's you. Anyway, pace car comes into the pit lane, and Ian Joyner is going to lead us away here for the final race start, well, the final first race start of Season 6. Green flag flies and we are away. Joyner gets away to a good start. Mason Kuhn passing Bas van der Lee already into the first turn. Adrian Hopp managing to hold on to 4th for the moment as Barrett Brummett tries to get him round the outside of turn 3. Cairo Enns absolutely charging into that final left-hander to start the lap. He is alongside Tyler Harker, and that is effectively the battle for the Club Class Championship right there.
Yeah, Rich Meesters providing the camera car here. Indeed, he's got his work cut out for him as well. He's got the likes of Kemal Kasim right behind him. Indeed, Cairo Enns and Tyler Harker are absolutely duking it out. And with the elevation change as well, I do have to wonder just how hard is it going to be to pass? Are we going to see an absolute onslaught of off-tracks? Is indeed the iRacing stewards going to have an impact here on this championship verdict?
That is the question. They're continuing to go side by side here. Harker is not letting Enns get away with this. Every single corner, he seems to have some kind of response for Cairo Enns' attacks, and looks like Cairo's going to have to yield here. Either that or try and switch underneath. No, too early to do that. The tyres are still too cold as behind Tuka Valkiasuo spins.
Yeah, I have a feeling he may have just got a little bit of, you know, if you hit the car ahead, you get spun out, kind of iRacing physics. I have a feeling he may have indeed just given Cairo Enns the very slightest of nudges there. Something a little bit unfortunate. As I say that, Enns goes wide. That is exactly what Harker's going to be looking for.
Indeed, a 23-point gap between them. I don't have the points format in front of me right now, but I would certainly think that Cairo is in danger of that championship lead equalizing. He's back to 11th now with Harker maintaining 6th. Ian Joyner, meanwhile, continuing to lead, but Mason Kuhn on the attack as he almost always is.
Yeah, it certainly is. Indeed, definitely, Rupesh, I would have loved to have seen you in this mix. Indeed, come on back. We absolutely loved having you here in the booth. Without a doubt, one of my favourite interviews we've done here on Pit Road Productions. But let's take a look a little bit further back here. It looks like Jeremy Childers now going side by side with Kemal Kasim.
Very nice job from Kemal Kasim there, getting the move done. As the pack behind is looking quite angry. Cairo ends now under pressure from Kevin Adrian for 11th place. And Philip Falcon providing us a very nice camera car here between Connor Bell and Kane Halliburton, the two coaches trying to fly in formation as they work their way up the field. And another car making an appearance. Carlos Facania decides to pop into the frame.
Yeah, that was like the ultimate photo bomb there. I got to say, fair play to Carlos, and indeed, I do sympathise there for some of the students here. Certainly seeing Kane Halliburton and Connor Bell, without a doubt, incredibly potent drivers as well. If you haven't watched Connor Bell's YouTube channel as well, by all means check it out. NASCAR Canada debut. Wins the race despite the fact he got a penalty as well. Absolutely incredible talent. But let's go back here. Kemal Kasim still going at it here. This time, again, with Jeremy Childers. Both of them, these guys, duking it out. Cairo Ends lurking in the background. He's looking to try and capitalise here on this opportunity.
That he is. Let's see then into turn 1. A very fast entry indeed. Childers and Kasim continue to trade spots and ends rounding the both of them up. Right on the rear bumper now of Kemal Kasim. Could translate this into a dive up the inside into the right-hander. Very late on the brakes. Goes straight for the apex and move is done. Kemal Kasim trying his best to respond to that, but it looks like he might be having a couple of technical problems there. Cairo will have to be careful of that.
Yeah, certainly, if he keeps flashing, he's going to get accused of wearing a trench coat, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, Kemal having a couple of connection issues there, but we do have to wonder if, not only that, Cairo Ends, you said it was a top 8 grid invert. Realistically, he needs to catch up to this man, Zoltan Zomator, who, unlucky for him, he's about 2.5 seconds up the road and indeed has a draft here from Rich Meesters as well.
That he does. Let's have a look at lap times ever so briefly. So Zomator with a 131.0 on the last lap. Meesters a 130.9. Cairo Ends is still not free of the drivers behind, so not quite able to make those gains just yet, but you can see they are almost sharing the same piece of racetrack now. Cairo has clear air, so his journey to try and get back past Tyler Harker is well on its way here. Fastest lap of the race so far goes to Adrian Hopper, 1 minute 30.131, as it looks like the top 5 have formed their own little group.
Indeed, if we have a look at the sectors as well, Ends has managed to pull up about 0.2 of a second over the last little bit there. Indeed, he's got 10 minutes left to do it. Let's check in a little bit further back here. It's Connor Bell now making his way past Philip Falcon.
Move made for 16th. Looks like Connor actually has fallen back a few positions there. Kane Halliburton's up in 12th, and remember, Bell and Halliburton were together just a few moments ago, so something has happened to the 037. We'll have to wait and see whether or not he can make some kind of recovery here. Try your best to nail the exit of the hairpin and find your way through at this next braking zone. Turn in very fast here at the bottom of the hill. But you see the Bell's not really being as aggressive with the curve as the other drivers are. And I think it's actually benefited him there. More stability on the way out, and he'll draw alongside. But he's going to be forced to stay wide here coming into this next hairpin.
We'll take a look at the chain of cars just ahead, and ladies and gentlemen, indeed, Cairo Ends has managed to find his way past not just Jeremy Childers, but indeed Kemal Kasim, and is currently in pursuit of Zoltan Zomator. The gap now still 2.3 seconds. He's going to have to pull some work. But indeed, let's take a look here at the lead battle. Ian Joyner still able to hold on with Mason Kuhn right behind in second, and Bas van der Lee very much in the mix as well, bringing Adrian Hop along as well.
Mason Kuhn now has the fastest lap of the race. They've dipped into the 129s for the first time. In fact, all of our top 5 have. And It's looking like incredible pace. The slipstream is certainly worth something down the front straight here, which is surprising. This isn't really a track that strikes me as a draft-centric circuit, but the slipstream is very strong in the Spec Racer Ford, and these drivers are all taking advantage of that. Tyler Harker not too far behind them. There's Jeffrey Adkins now. Finds himself with hang on a minute, Carlos Facania and Tuca Valchiasuo coming together. It seems both of them now having issues.
I gotta say, they look like a really good recovery. As I say that, too much heat in the tires. Commentators guess indeed Carlos Facania has to ends up going around yet again. Steve Saunders being able to capitalize that. Good avoidance there though from Domenico Sayu.
Yeah, indeed, that was heads-up driving from Domenico. See right there, yeah, that was a very quick decision that he had to make. He could have gone tight through the corner and avoided him that way, but that would have scrubbed the front tires, and he probably would have understeered right into him. So yeah, very heads-up driving. Philip Falcon, meanwhile, embroiled with Jeffrey Adkins. See how this battle works out for P15 at the moment. I mean, every single time we go on board here, it's just amazing how much the curbs and the bumps shake these cars around. I think that alone makes Lédenon one of the more challenging tracks on the service.
Yeah, without a doubt. Definitely, you know, it's one of those things as well. So if you go to the track in a street car, they'll tell you to pretty much avoid the curbs because it's just going to shake your car to bits. And I do have to wonder as well, just how much beef can these Spec Racer Fords take? Certainly, you know, geometrically, it might be a quicker line, but with it unsettling the suspension that much, you've got to wonder as well. Conor Bell would definitely be a good guy to ask that. Maybe we'll get a chat with him in the warm-up.
Hopefully we do. Always nice when Conor can join us in the booth. For the moment, Ian Joyner, who is only a very recently new addition to our camera roster, he's managing to keep the gap very stable at about half a second and still setting lap times in the 129s. It seems like he's only just getting started here with 4 laps to go.
Certainly he is indeed a force to be reckoned with, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a feeling we're going to see a little bit more activity further back here. Adrian Hobb and indeed Barrett Blumett there. They are applying a good amount of pressure, but is it going to be enough? Certainly you see there Hobb backing off a little bit there, and indeed Tyler Harker not quite in the mix, but he is absolutely trying everything he can to catch up. But currently where he stands though, best lap, he's about 0.2 of a second down, and indeed lost another 10th on that last lap. But Sutton, okay, now we're good. Carlos Facania's okay. We're all right.
Looking at the lap times again, though, it seems that Harker is not able to, not only not able to keep up with the top 5, but it seems like he's losing a few tenths a lap to Rich Meesters and Zoltan Zomotor with 4 laps remaining. It looks like about 2-ish seconds. I think that might be a little bit too much to think about a pass, but there is a lot of potential. Zomotor looks comfortable here behind Meesters, and I think the gap's certainly achievable within the time left.
Well, one thing I'd be thinking about right now, Zoltan Zomotor is currently on the inverse grid P1. Pyro Enz managed to pull in about another 0.3 of a second in that last corner as well. And not only that, Enz is bringing with him the likes of Halliburton, Childers, and Kasim. Conor Bell not far back as well. So certainly, if I was Zomotor, honestly, I'd be trying to help Meesters and try and get him away from that oncoming traffic that is the 117, the number 12, and indeed a good portion of the field as well.
Yeah, Jeremy Childers not too far behind them, and we'll see Conor Bell and Kevin Adrian in 13th and 14th, as that's very deep for Adrian in the hairpin. Translates it into a late apex, so we'll get a good run out of the corner, but I think he might have lost a bit too much time there for it to be worth anything. So he'll find his way into the final corners with some nice stability underneath him, as Rich Meesters sees the gap behind decrease again as Zomotor is in the slipstream. Have a look at the front of the pack though. Bas van der Lee under pressure from Adrian Hobb, and Mason Kuhn is starting to make moves on Ian Joyner.
It certainly has, but we are going to go back here to this back as Zomotor has managed to find his way ahead, and it looks like Meesters is looking to fight back. You got to think about the long game on this one, gentlemen. Certainly, I have a feeling that you guys are scrapping while I'm all for it. I have a feeling that your race strategy is indeed going to unfold, and it's not going to be in the favor you've been hoping for.
Yeah, side by side means that you're costing each other time. That's why if you're going to make a pass, you've got to make sure that it sticks. Otherwise, you'll be losing time to the drivers behind. And, well, we'll see what the lap time's going to be like at the end of this one. But Zomotor and Meisters with a 1 minute 30.8 and 0.9 respectively. Cairo Ends was about 6-7 tenths faster than the both of them. And he's certainly getting the hurry up from Halliburton.
Indeed, Kane Halliburton definitely giving him some encouragement. Now, this is important. Enz has got to realise that the coach is quick, and indeed, he's probably better off working with him. But realistically, these guys are sat in 9th and 10th. Enz, to have a chance at this championship, he needs to get that inverse grid. He needs to make sure he is not out of that, because if not, Harker, he's currently in P6. I believe he'd get moved up to P2, P3, ladies and gentlemen. P3. That could be a golden opportunity for him and could indeed cost Enz his championship. Don't get me wrong, we've got no favourites, but certainly it's going to be incredibly tight here for the club class win.
That it is. We'll have a look at how far to the left they're going here down the start-finish straight. Never seen a defense like that. Zoltan Zomotor staying ahead of Rich Meisters, making the move back. Now, we'll see behind them, Cairo Ends side by side with Kane Halliburton. And this could be costing Cairo a couple of tenths of a second he'd rather not lose.
Yeah, I think the strategy here is... Oh, dear!
Oh, no!
Kane Halliburton! Well, that's one solution for Enz. Don't get me wrong, it's not one any of us saw coming, but indeed, that's going to work out very much in the favour there of Enz. He has to find a way to get one position closer. He needs to get that invert grid.
Yeah, this is game on now for Cairo Ends to try and preserve that championship lead he enjoyed over Tyler Harker coming into this round. The first couple of laps not going to his favour. But looking at the timing again, it would appear that next lap is going to be the last one. So it is really go time for Cairo Ends. Needs to get it done. The battle for the lead, though. The top 5 still glued together here. Ian Joyner is going to lead us across the line to take the white flag.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to go full NASCAR race, and indeed these guys are about to take the gloves off. But I mean NASCAR, this is going to go full hockey fight, ladies and gentlemen. The hockey night in Canada. Indeed, I think the gloves are about to get dropped, the sticks are going to get thrown, and indeed I think we're about to see an all-out brawl here. I mean, that's what I'm predicting, but something I've got to wonder is Ian Joyner maybe just setting the pace, and these guys dependent on the slipstream to try and stay with them.
Yeah, I think there's merit to that. Joyner has been consistently the fastest driver of the day so far, and it's all these guys can do to just stay in touch with him. Yeah, the slipstream is benefiting them, but it seems like through the corners, Joyner is just able to get a slightly better run out almost every time. There's barely any pace difference between those front 3 at the moment, and they still work in a line, making their way to the middle sector. Cairo Ends, meanwhile, is now right on the back of Rich Meisters and Zoltan Zomotor. He could potentially find the position here if Meisters goes for the move on Zomotor. Oh, they're getting close, and Meisters has to compromise his braking point. Now Ends is right on them.
Yeah, this is going to be exactly what Enz needs. He's going to have to go in for it. Indeed, the nose is coming in. Oh, that's almost contact. Indeed. Reese, I know you've got your rubber screen going. Tell me when we need to go to the lead here, as indeed these guys are duking it out even harder. So yeah,
oh, he's going to get it.
Yeah, again. He's going to fight for it, and certainly you've got to wonder here. Oh, my gosh, this is tight.
Leaders across the line. Ian Joyner is going to take victory as Enz gets the move done on Rich Meisters there. No change in our top 5, but Enz crucially making the move exactly when he needed to. And he's going to get that 8th place. And have a look at that. Man, you can tell from the camera feed there. Oh, that is pure relief from Cairo. He knows that he has done enough to start on pole for race 2.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's sweat in places that he is maybe not comfortable with, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, that was definitely a high-stakes scenario for him, but indeed, fantastic racing throughout the field. And I got to say, beautiful castle as well. That's one thing, you know, that's something I'd enjoy watching, Reese. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm from the UK. We've got some of the best architecture in the world. Okay, a little bit arrogant, but I'm going to stick with it. I'd enjoy watching something like that. Reese Gardner describing, you know, different buildings and the history of it, and that would be fun. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, well, that's certainly something to put a pin in. You notice those two little figures on the balcony of that castle, by the way? That's Steve Myers and Dale Earnhardt Jr. They are on every circuit in iRacing somewhere. You just got to look for them. Results for race 1 then. Ian Joyner winning by just under 2/10 from Mason Kuhn. It was a very tight battle for the lead. Bas van der Lee rounding out the podium with Adrian Hopp and Barrett Brummett following them very closely. Tyler Harker winning the club class race there, but Zoltan Zomator and Cairo Wins round out your top 8. Going to flip those top 8 drivers to get your top 8 for race 2. Rich Meesters and Jeremy Childers rounding out the top 10.
Having a look there in P11, and indeed third place in the club class was Kemal Kassim. A good run from him with Kevin Adrian in 12th. Philip Falcon takes 13th with Tulka Valcasero having that unfortunate incident earlier on. He has to settle for 14th. Jeremy Atkins in 15th with Dominic Sayu there. Fantastic bit of avoidance there, Dominico. He took 16th with Carlos Picania in 17th. Steve Saunders, the gentleman of the class, ladies and gentlemen. He's there in 18th with Philip Masson in 19th. Connor Bell and Ken Halliburton. Okay, they black flagged themselves in the end, so that's 20th and 21st.
Yes, the coaches back to their usual shenanigans here. Traditionally, starting at the back of the grid in just about every race of this series. So, now, this is your grid for race 2. Enz is on pole with Zomator alongside. Tyler Harker just behind Cairo Enz in that left-hand line. Barrett Brummett rounding out the second row. Hopp and Bas van der Lee, 5th and 6th, with Mason Kuhn and Ian Joyner rounding out your top 8. And from there on back, it's where they finished in race 1. I think that Tuka Valcasero in particular is going to be looking for some redemption. He started 7th for race 1, but could only manage 14th in the end.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting indeed, race. But one thing I do want to point out, let's just have a look here. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
You're going to have to help me here, Zippy.
Well, the two challenges here for the leader of the club class are right in front and behind of each other. Cairo Enz is on the pole, Tyler Harker right behind. Certainly,
oh, yes.
I have a feeling this could get interesting.
Yeah, indeed. It took me a couple of seconds to pick up what you were putting down there, but all good. We'll find our way to the green flag very shortly, as seems like we're still missing someone from the third place on the grid. Cairo's just waiting for the seconds to count down there. You can tell how tense he is. He knows
yes.
exactly where he's at in this fight.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's sweating a little bit there, and indeed, I've got to sympathise for him. Certainly, there's been a couple of times where I've been fighting for a championship win, and indeed, it's tense, it's stressful, and you almost wonder at that point, why do you even do this stuff? But indeed, should you get it across the line, and even then, it's the experience as well. It's not just the destination.
Indeed. Okay, it looks like confirmation Barrett Brummett has not taken to the grid. He is sitting in the car in pit lane, though, so it looks like a pit lane start for Barrett Brummett. Not entirely sure why that is, but we'll see how far up the field he can make it, and whether or not Cairo Enz will be able to hold off Zomator, Harker, Hopp, van der Lee, Kuhn, Joyner. Lots of very fast drivers at the front of this field, all looking to duke it out here for the start of race 2. Up the hill, it's such an intense climb as the pace car comes into the lane, waiting on Cairo Enz to get the call to the green flag. And the power is down. We are away for race 2. Enz immediately switching to the right side of the circuit to open up the entry for the first corners. Tyler Harker slotting into third place with Zoltan Zomator taking second. Bas van der Lee up into fourth. Ian Joyner already on the attack here, but Mason Kuhn trying his best to keep him behind. He's forced a little bit tight, and now Adrian Hopp will see the chance to dive up the inside.
That was an absolutely fantastic move there. Indeed, Hopp able to get it done. Looks like Jeremy Childers and Kevin Adrian getting into it as well. Tulka Valcasero and Rich Meesters all fighting as well. There's a couple of drivers there with slowdowns, including Mason Kuhn and indeed including Jeremy Childers. And the guys just literally following through there. Childers still trying to serve that slowdown as they're free, almost 4 wide there. A little bit of a bump, and indeed this is going to become absolute chaos here. We got 3 wide yet again, and I have a feeling that's Atkins in the middle.
Oh, good Lord, this is not ideal. 2 by 2 by 2 they go, and the coaches are right on the back of them as well. Connor Bell and Kane Halliburton have the world ahead of them at the moment.
Indeed, I've got a feeling this is, it's like having the Bash Brothers on either side of you, ladies and gentlemen. That is pretty much the scenario here. I feel we're roasting the coaches a little bit, Dave, but it's all in good taste, certainly respecting the absolute pace of these guys. Indeed, I've got to say, the mid-pack is where the action's happening right now. Looks like Carlos McCanny getting into it as well, this time with Steve Saunders.
Indeed. Kane Halliburton, head coach at the Almeida Academy, and Connor Bell, the community manager. You can learn from them by subscribing to the Almeida Racing Academy. You also get automatic entry into this league. Next season is starting in a couple of weeks, so get on it. Kane Halliburton then sees the slipstream off of his fellow coach there. And up ahead, starting to see a little bit closer racing happening here. Cairo Enns is breaking away as Zoltan Zomator has made his way past Tyler Harker again. It looks like quite the defense that he's having to put on here, but this is really benefiting Enns. This is the exact kind of battle that he needs to have happen behind him.
Yeah, he's almost broken the draft at this point. He's about 8-9 of a second. Indeed, Harker, he's going to be frustrated at this point. Indeed, as Zomator almost goes around there. You can see the over-rotation starting to occur. Thankfully, able to keep a hold of it, but incredibly close racing here. Indeed, Adrian Hopp, his fellow countryman, can he be of assistance in trying to help Zomator find their way past Ian Joyner, indeed catch up to the back of Cairo Enns. The gap there is expanding, but it's not enough. It's 7/10 of a second. Harker, he's now got just himself and Enns to deal with. Joyner's lurking in the background. Is this going to be Harker's opportunity? Can he put this to bed?
That is the question. Let's see what they can do. 12 minutes remaining on the clock, and by my timing, we got 8 laps remaining, so still plenty of time to sort this out. I'm amazed at how close the field still is. We haven't really seen any true breakaways outside of our top 2. So this is going to be quite the interesting race that we've got ahead of us. Club class drivers 1 and 2, but the championship leader of Split 1 is rapidly making his way forward. First real lap times on the board then, and Cairo Enns 1 minute 30.9, but Tyler Harker is the one setting the pace at 1:30.7.
Yeah, indeed, it's incredibly close here. He'll be getting just a lick there of slipstream. I'm sorry we're focusing on this so much, ladies and gentlemen, but indeed, this is going to be the closest battle we have going, as something's happened there with Jeffrey Adkins. Indeed, he's taking the scenic route, and it looks like he's got a little bit of damage there. No, we're good on the left front.
Making his way back onto the racetrack. While everyone goes on by. You see him tapping the brakes there. He was trying to stabilize the car through the opening corners, but it's one of those slides that starts off really small, and by the time you notice it, it's too late to recover.
A little bit unfortunate indeed, but Ian Joyner there, he's got about 9/10 of a second clear, and then we have literally a onslaught of cars. We've got Zoltan Zomator and Adrian Hopp there working together. Kevin and Adrian a little bit further back. He's got Bas van der Lee, and then even closer, ladies and gentlemen, looks like Mason Kuhn and Tuka Bakaseo starting to get into a little bit of a grudge match as well. Look at the move there by Kuhn.
Whoa, that is a good move indeed. Fantastic stuff. You can always rely on Mason Kuhn to get the move done. He's done it multiple times this season, and with the way they're battling ahead of him, I think he might have a couple more positions in mind to help his recovery after his slowdown. Valkyasuo, meanwhile, catching the gravel there, and that'll bring him under attack from Bas van der Lee. But all that being said, Tuka is having a pretty good race at the moment. He's up a few positions from where he started and well on his way to getting another top 10 here.
Indeed, I gotta say, Bas van der Lee, he's really, I think he's actually got faster since he started turning on the driver cam. I'm just gonna point that out, ladies and gentlemen, if indeed you want to go faster, then by all means put the driver cam on. That's my advice, sir.
Yes, Zoltan Zomator getting a slowdown, and there's drama. Big drama. Zomator coming together with Mason Kuhn and Kevin Adrian as Cairo Enns and Tyler Harker battle for the lead. That was a poor exit for Cairo Enns, and Harker's going to get alongside him. The two protagonists in the championship battle for the club class duking it out as Ian Joyner has now joined them.
Yeah, I have to wonder here, where's Joyner going to lie? We've got a Canadian, an American, and indeed somebody from the UK all duking it out for the podium. And that indeed is probably one of the biggest things I love about the Almeida Academy here. Zoltan Zomator with a meatball flag. That's going to be the end of his race pretty much, but we'll take a replay of that in just a second. I do have to wonder though, where did Enns lose that 6-7 tenths of a second gap? Meanwhile though, I tell you what, Reese, you say when, because I honestly don't know when we want to switch off this. Harker really starting to turn the screws on.
Yeah, I don't know. Depending on how this battle works out in the next few corners, yeah, it's really the flip of a coin whether or not this is going to be going for the entire race. We'll see Kevin Adrian tow back to pit lane, and Zomator is rapidly trying to make his way back to the pits as Harker is right on the back of Enns there into turn 1, but Enns goes a little bit deeper into turn 2. Let's see what the turn-in is like for 3. Yeah, looks pretty good. Got to the apex nice and early, but it seems like his exits are getting compromised. He's covering Harker, though. Looks like he's doing everything right in this fight. Harker's got Joyner to worry about, too.
Yeah, let's try and take a quick look here at this incident if we can. We'll try it, ladies and gentlemen.
We will. So, yeah, Zoltan Zomator got a slowdown at turn 4, and then in the process of clearing it, lost it, and Mason Kuhn was just unlucky there. He tried to do everything he could to avoid it, but just couldn't, and unfortunately that ended up taking out Kevin Adrian as well. That's a bit of a shame for those guys. They will not get the points they want from this second race. Well, while the battle for the lead continues, we'll keep an eye on Mason Kuhn and Kemal Kassim here. Kuhn's back in 12th, and looks like he hasn't got too far ahead to the drivers ahead. Kane Halliburton, super deep on the brakes there. I'm amazed that he pulled that up without locking it up. Round the outside of Bas van der Lee for 6th.
Yeah, that was almost like he had slingshot engaged or something. Absolutely phenomenal move there from Halliburton. Indeed, he's made his way up 15 positions. Connor Bell making his way up 10 positions as well. He's got Philip Falcon in his eyesight just ahead. But we are indeed going to return to this lead battle, as indeed it's going to be a freeway fight, ladies and gentlemen. The Canadian, the American, and the Brit duking it out for the race win.
Oh, I thought for a second that Enns made a mistake there going for the wide line into the first corner, but Tyler Harker is racing fair. He pulled out of the maneuver when it was clear Enns was committing to the corner. Let's see what happens here in this hairpin. Ian Joyner is going to find his way up the inside of Harker, and this could cost Harker some time here to Enns, but he manages to nail the exit. He's going to defend it from Joyner.
Yeah, certainly Ian Joyner is probably the biggest nuisance to these two guys ahead. Indeed, he'll be aware that these guys are fighting out for their own championship. Indeed, I don't know if Ian Joyner's quite got it slam dunked at this point. Certainly, we'd have to check the points. Indeed, myself and Math on the fly while doing the broadcast, not particularly great. But right now, I've got to say, it's getting interesting. These three drivers are cleared by about 1.6, 1.7 seconds, and that gap is growing, and we're about halfway through this second race.
Enns, every time he gets to the exit of those tight hairpins in the middle of the lap, he seems to lose out a tiny bit to Harker. And yeah, it looks like Harker is just lining up, launching out of these corners. Is it going to be a move at the final turn? Enns forced preemptively defensive. Has he gone deep on the way out? No, he hasn't, but he has lost a tiny bit of momentum. Now the slipstream kicks in again. 4 laps to go. We'll see what happens here. Does Enns stick to the inside here? Harker's going to try and squeeze him a bit. No, he's going to move to the outside line. Is this going to be the move for the lead round the outside of these opening corners? Enns with a little slide through turn 2. He will keep the spot, but for how long?
Indeed, these guys are absolutely duking it out. And indeed, the gap behind to Adrian Hopp just dropped 0.2 of a second as well. Ends there on the defensive. Ian Joyner looking to come through on the inside yet again. Wasn't successful last time. I was near a little bit of contact there between Harker and Joyner.
Oh, again. Oh, gently does it into the hairpin here. Harker will get the exit and keep Joyner behind once more. Joyner is getting a little bit vexed at the moment, I think, trying his best to find his way past, but it's just not working. This is a really nice view from Adrian Hopp ahead. He's become the camera car for this battle, and hell, I'll say he's joined it now.
Oh, 100%. He was about 1.6 seconds back before that gap, now down to 0.4 of a second. This is not going to be the news here that Tyler Harker has been looking for. Ian Joyner, I think he's got enough of a buffer here between himself and other rivals. Not only that, 2 club class drivers ahead of him. They're not his opposition right now, but indeed, the 2 at the front as Harker has got a slowdown. This could be catastrophic here. And it could be a golden opportunity for Cairo Enns, because realistically right now, Harker's kind of backing him up a little bit there, trying to serve it. If he doesn't clear it quickly, he will get a black flag. He's cleared it just in time, but not enough. Ian Joyner makes his way by, and indeed Adrian Hopp does as well. Could
that be the moment that the club class championship is decided? That is worth thinking about. Parker is going to have it all to play for to try and move past Hop and Joyner again, but they're going to make it quite difficult for him, I'm sure. The question is, though, can Cairo Ends hold off Joyner and Hop? Could they find themselves scrapping for positions off at the top two? There's still a lot to come from this race. 2.5 laps isn't much, but Lédenon packs a lot of racetrack into just 3 kilometers, and we've packed a lot of racing into just 4 minutes.
Indeed, we see Rich Meesters now trying to make a move up here on the inside of Mason Kuhn. Certainly, I have to wonder if Mason Kuhn picked up any damage there earlier. Sultan Somator certainly did. And indeed, not stopping Meesters. He is absolutely applying a good amount of pressure here to the youngster.
Nicely done for Rich Meesters. A couple of top 10s to start off this final round would be fantastic for him. At the moment, he's staying in touch with Mason Kuhn. It's so difficult to pick the turn-in point for that left-hander. You know, it took me about 5 attempts before I figured out where the turn-in point actually is, because there's no real reference point either side of the circuit. You've got to wait for the pylons in the distance at the edge of the track there to get it done. Meanwhile, 2 laps to go, and our top 4 are still glued together.
They are indeed, and look about 2.8 seconds back, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Kill-A-Lot is coming. Sorry, Kane.
Well, Halliburton will continue his pursuit as Bas van der Lee takes the fastest lap of the race. Now the fight is on between Ends and Joyner. Cairo's going to go defensive to the inside as Harker dives up the inside of Adrian Hop. The top 2 exit in line, but now Harker is on the other side of the move that he's pulled on Joyner a few times. The outside line from that hairpin now belongs to Adrian Hop, and he'll make it to the apex first. Let's see how Harker responds to that.
And indeed, the whole time they did that, Kane Halliburton just caught up a whole second, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, the Behemoth is coming. The academy coach, indeed, is very much in pursuit. He's made his way up 16 positions. Can he make his way up onto the podium as well? How is it going to impact this championship battle? Ladies and gentlemen, we've got 2 minutes left to go of this race. I have a feeling the final one, it's going to be an all-out brawl.
That is 100% my thinking as well. White flag is in the air. And they'll only have 1 lap to go now in race number 2. All the pressure is on for Cairo Ends here to take an overall win. He's been searching for it all season. He's been really trying. Let's see if Ian Joyner is going to rob him of it here in race 2. In the slipstream then. The Brit is only a couple of hundredths behind now alongside. Into turn 1, sweeping through. Lots of speed at the mid-corner, but Ends is holding strong on the inside.
And indeed, Ian Joyner is definitely not going to give up this fight easily. It's Kane Halliburton there just set the fastest lap I've seen today, a 129.46. But you got to wonder as well, can Ends hold off the like of Joyner? Certainly, we've seen the slipstream in the final part of this track, and it doesn't look like the exit from the final corner and the straightaway is enough to slipstream by. Indeed, I think if Ends can keep it in front for the majority, that's a little bit of a tight move there from Joyner. Ends on the defensive. Not quite fully committal, but indeed, Joyner there having to have a bit of work. Adrian Hop right behind as well, and Tyler Harker. If these guys come together, will absolutely benefit from this greatly. They've got to keep it clean and keep it going until the end of the race.
All right, then. Just the final sector to go. And Ian Joyner has nailed the uphill exit there. Is this going to be enough for a move? Cairo Ends sees him filling his mirrors, but he'll stick tight to the apex of the left-hander. And now, down the hill, just 1 more braking zone to go. He needs to nail it. Timer will hit 0 in just a couple of seconds, just in time for them to enter the last corner. Ends collects the curb, and out across the exit he comes. It's been a long time coming. Cairo Ends is going to take the overall win here at Lédenon. And that may well be what he needs to seal the deal for the Club Class Championship.
Well, I got to admit, Cara, he definitely looks happy, but he's not got the same kind of reaction I would have had. I would have been absolutely smashing the air, pumped. Why am I emotional? I didn't win the race, but he's been fighting for this for so long. And I'm glad, attaboy. There we go. Oh, yeah. The inner... How do I phrase this? The inner chimpanzee antics of you know, race driver celebrations have just come clean and damn it, warm up. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Indeed. You can see the cheer followed by the sheer relief. We should try and grab him for an interview. Reese, let's see if we can find him here. But I'll tell you what, I'll put up the results. You do that. I'm going to try and steal him quickly.
All right, no problem. Well, we are going to see Cairo Ends take the overall win here in race 2 at Lédenon. Ian Joyner and Adrian Hopp joined him on the podium, with Tyler Harker in 4th place. He really gave Cairo Ends a run for his money, though. Kane Halliburton made his way up to 5th, with Bas van der Lee finishing in 6th place ahead of Connor Bell. Tuka Valkyasuo in 8th spot. That's a nice recovery from race 1, with Mason Kuhn unfortunately falling by the wayside a little in race 2. He'll certainly be trying his best to make his way up in race 3. Rich Meesters rounding out the top 10, with Philip Falcon in 11th spot, Jeremy Childers in 12th, Kemal Kasim, Carlos Vacania and Barrett Brummett rounding out your top 15. Of course, Brummett starting from the pits. Philippe Masson, Domenico Sayu, Jeffrey Adkins, Stephen Saunders, all with issues of some kind over the course of the race, but Zoltan Zomator and Kevin Adrian, the ones who came off the worst. 7 laps from the end, they were both out.
Well, certainly before we get too excited, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to locate Cairo Ends. Indeed, he's going to be pretty pumped right now. As having a look at the camera, he's not even in the seat, ladies and gentlemen. So in the meantime, let's take a quick break here and have a message from Swellio.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Swellio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Swellio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy, wait a race.
$20 a month, one of the best deals in sim racing, the Almeida Racing Academy. What an incredible race 2 we've had here at the final round of Season 6. We're joined by Cairo Ends, who was threatening it pretty much all season. But Cairo, finally, you stand on the top of the overall podium in a crucial race for the championship.
Yeah, it feels really good. It was really good to see Ian and Tyler battling. I was hoping that they would get into each other's way a little bit, and sure enough, Tyler ended up with the slowdown, and then it was just me and Ian, and yeah, he gave me a serious run for my money, but I just held it on the inside, defended every corner that I needed to, and it paid off. It worked. I got P1. Took long enough.
Ain't that right? But you certainly enjoyed yourself there. We caught you on camera just after the finish. The relief on your face was palpable, but you can't afford to relax just yet. You've still got one more race to go, and you're starting from pole.
Indeed, I think it's going to be much the same this time around. Just get a good early lead, hope that people battle behind, and defend, defend, defend.
Yeah, that's going to be the goal, Cairo. Just tell us how you're feeling at the moment, finally breaking that victory duck.
Oh, my heart's racing. That was an intense race. It's still going a little bit too fast, so we'll see if I can get it calmed down for this race. I'm going to need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Cairo. Best of luck in race number 3. You're certainly going to have Joyner and Hop looking to take that one from you, and Tyler Harker still is going to try and strike back. We'll hopefully be chatting to you again after this.
For sure. Thank you.
Cairo ends there. The Club Class Championship leader coming into this round, and it's just about time for us to see if he can translate that into a championship win. I think as long as he finishes ahead of Harker, it will be all good for him, but I'm certainly going to be looking for Tyler Harker to make some big moves. Here's the grid then for race number 3. N starts on pole with Ian Joyner alongside. Adrian Hopp and Tyler Harker are your second row. Kane Halliburton's going to start in 5th alongside Bas van der Lee, with Connor Bell in 7th, Tuka Valkiasuo in 8th. Mason Kuhn and Rich Meesters round out the top 10.
In P11, we're going to have Philip Falcon alongside the one and only Mr. Jeremy Childress in 12th. Third team's going to be taken by Kemal Kassim with Carlos Picania, who's now joined the driver cams again. Hey, Carlos, welcome back, buddy. He's there with Barrett Bonnet in 15th. Philippe Masson is there in 16th, and Domenico Sayu in 17th. Jeffrey Atkins in 18th. Steve Saunders in 19th. Zoltan Saunders in 20th. And then Kevin Adrian, sadly put at the back of the line today. He's there in 21st.
Well, here we go then. Just checking Kevin Adrian. It looks like he didn't take to the grid, so unfortunately we won't be seeing him take to the start of the final race. But regardless, still been a good season from Kevin. I'm still waiting for the opportunity to see his rain mastery that you talk so much about, Zippy. Well,
he's nuts in the rain.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like a little bit of a flustered start here from a lot of drivers. I think Halliburton and Bell moving to the back of the grid has messed things up a little bit there for drivers in the midfield, but a clean start from our leaders, and Enns will hold off Joyner for the moment. Harker and Hop trading spots for 3rd place. Bas van der Lee granted a top 5 for the moment, and I think we're going to be seeing the same story that we saw in races 1 and 2. Leaders breaking away and fighting.
Yeah, certainly some good stuff indeed. And I think the coaches, I don't know if they're trying to black flag themselves depending on when they do it, because they don't want to mess with the points. Indeed, I think that's part of the challenge as well. So we will give them a little bit of a break there. Let's talk about Caseo now, going side by side with Rich Meesters and Jeremy Childers getting in the action as well. Actually, that comes to me. No Jeffrey Westland this week as well.
Yes, unfortunately absent for the final round, but hopefully he'll be back next season on board with Childers, who has made his way up 4 positions so far on the first lap, largely due to the formation lap shenanigans, I would imagine. Carlos Facania, meanwhile, gets into 9th spot, but he's got Connor Bell alongside him, and it's going to be a tough fight between these two. Bell's going to get on the power as soon as he possibly can and forces Facania to go wide.
Yeah, certainly, indeed, Carlos is working really hard, and certainly I wish him the best luck. Trying to beat an academy coach is a challenge. I did have the pleasure of racing side by side with a couple of these guys. They did a training session at Watkins Glen. Indeed, they was helping Swallow rehearse, get familiar there with his TCR car at Watkins Glen, and indeed I had a lot of fun until I left the door wide open for Connor Brown. He didn't just drive through it, he waltzed through it pretty much, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, it was like I rolled out the red carpet for him. And then Kane Halliburton was not as lucky. Sorry, Kane. He indeed did have the door firmly closed, and after I learnt from my mistake. But right now, Cairo Enzo applying all sorts of pressure, and actually that particular clip as well, credit to Swallow, he had a feeling, it's like, oh, chaos is coming. Less than 2 seconds later, I absolutely smoked it and took out another car in the process.
Well, let's see if there's any smoking to go on in this battle for the front of the field. Enns and Joyner, the only 2 cars up the front here to hold on to their starting positions, but that could change here as Joyner has another look up the inside of Enns. There's so many passes that have been attempted into that corner today, but none of them have really been successful. Joyner needs to try and find another way to get past.
Indeed, he's definitely working hard. I do wish we had Tyler Harker on the camera as well. Certainly, I'd love to see all 3 of these drivers. There you go. Takes a little bit of a tighter line there. And indeed, it looks like it was going to work. But Adrian Hopp now applying all sorts of pressure. He's got Bas van der Lee right behind him. I have a feeling he's hanging back just a little bit further. Ready to capitalize on this. Rich Meesters, though, he's about to get mugged between the likes of Tuka Bakase and indeed Connor Bell. Jeremy Childers up in that pack as well. We got the whole field for the most part. So incredibly close to go. But right now, I can tell you, something did happen to Kane Halliburton. Let's take a quick look.
Yeah, he's saying technical issues in the InSim text chat. So we'll see. Oh, yeah, that's not ideal there. And it looks like the wheel may have failed for him. Not entirely sure the reasoning behind that, but he's exited from the racetrack and will be taking no further part today. 16.5 minutes remain and about 11 laps to go. Ian Joyner has been nailing the exit of these uphill hairpins for pretty much the entire event so far, but Cairo ends keeping himself in front, making his Spec Racer Ford the widest of all. Oh, yep, the space is rapidly diminishing. Could this be it for Ian Joyner? He's ahead on the way in, but Enns has the inside line. Oh, easy does it. Oh, contact. And Joyner is sent wide. Here comes Harker.
I got a feeling this is going to end up in a freeway. Oh, no. You do not want to wreck out. That is not the objective. Harker goes up on the inside. Enns just able to keep it. And I have a feeling Adrian Hopp and Bas van der Lee, they see what's going on. They know what's going on. I have a feeling that they do not want to get involved in this. It's the club's line. No, they're backing off. They're just saying, please don't hurt me at this point. Connor Bell, though, I have a feeling he's going to get into this battle as well. And indeed, we have to see how the coaches deal with this kind of battle going on as well.
Yeah, for sure. Connor Bell has been rounding these guys up across the line. We see that Bell takes the fastest lap so far. Doesn't officially count because he got an off track, but we're seeing mid to high 131s from the majority of our lead pack here. Connor Bell, the only one to dip into the 129s so far. He is on a mission and he's looking to make his way to the front.
Yeah, he can see a whole slew of cars ahead of him. He's got 5 of them to play with, and indeed, Bas van der Lee. Let's give credit to Bas. I don't think he's just going to bend over and let Connor Bell just take the position easily. I have a feeling he is indeed going to put them shoulder pads on and indeed try and hold off here and try and keep the coach behind him. Indeed, lots of good battling here, as right now, Connor Bell looking to try and make his way forward.
Here we go then for the lead of the race into this uphill hairpin. Cairo Enns getting an excellent launch there and managed to put a little bit more space between himself and Tyler Harker. He's going to be relying on the slipstream from Ian Joyner to try and stay ahead of his club championship rival.
Indeed, he is. Definitely battles happening throughout there. Barrett Blumett currently holding the official fastest lap. He's got a 130.59, ladies and gentlemen. I have a feeling we're going to see that get even quicker. Barrett Blumett actually one of the few drivers in the same position as where he started. Definitely disappointed to not see Kevin Adrian here for this final race. Nothing but love for the guy. He is indeed. I want to see him in the rain. As here we go. We got a battle going on for the lead here. Potentially no. Ian Joyner able to hold on, but Tyler Harker put away about 0.4 of a second here over Adrian Hobb. And I've got to say, these guys get any closer, I do have to wonder, are we going to see some collisions here between the two club class drivers?
See the wheel work from Tyler Harker there through the opening corners. He is twitching that thing around. He's dancing with this Spec Racer Ford. He's super fast here at Lédenon. It's just the nature of the track is really starting to give him a little bit of grief, I think. He's now having to focus a bit more on the drivers behind as Bell passes Van der Lee. It's up into 5th now for the coach, but it looks like the top 2 starting to break away now as Harker had a couple of poor exits.
Yeah, so just actually thinking, who would I really love to see compete here in the Almeida Academy? And one of the names that comes into mind would be Assad Bayev, actually. He actually drives a real Spec Racer Ford, started in go-karts, and indeed he has been having some success. But don't get me wrong, we're switching out to Miatas next season, but, you know, while we can't do that for the Academy, how about doing a special Pit Road Productions event? Certainly, we're thinking that basically if you want to enter, you have to have been in the Pit Road Production show, and indeed the race format, to be decided, but a good part of me would actually like to do it damage off, no incident limit, and race as hard as you... Oh, dear!
Oh, easy. Into the final corner. Here comes the move for Adrian Hopp to get into the top 3. Harker with another compromised exit out of the final corner. And Hopp is through into turn 1.
Yeah, that is definitely not what Harker would have been looking for. Oh, that's contact! And Harker yet again takes the scenic route. This may be his club class championship... hopes absolutely diminished.
Yeah, looks like some damage now for Tyler Harker. And, oh, the front is just not responding through the hairpin. This is not ideal. So we'll see what he can do to hold on to a position in the top 6 now, but I think it's going to be a very tough job for him going forward. Now, the fight for the lead is between Ian Joyner and Cairo Enns once again. It's our Premier Class Championship leader and our Club Class Championship leader, 1 and 2 in the race at the moment. And I think that they'll stay there because Connor Bell is going to be all over the back of Adrian Hopp here. It's going to be a rollicking battle between these two, firing it into the left-hander. Connor Bell gets the move done. He's up into 3rd.
Yeah, I gotta say, I do love the artistic talents there of Adrian Hopp's paint. Certainly a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more poppy than we usually seen, but we're going to head back a little bit further. Oh, dear. What just happened at the bottom?
I think he might have dropped. He might have dropped from the server.
Yeah.
That's a shame for Barrett Brummett. One of the drivers who was always knocking on the door of victory this season. Very successful in the Spec Racer Ford in that car's time in this series, but no further opportunity for him. There's further technical issues for Kemal Kasim. And ends up warping into Tuka Valkeasuo. And that's going to be, unfortunately, some damage for Kemal as well. I mean, from the outside, the car doesn't look too damaged, but it's surely not nice to drive. He has got a mechanical black flag from that contact.
Yeah, definitely. I can understand the unfortunate scenario having a terrible connection. Indeed, we went through it not that long ago. The start of 2026 was not the most enjoyable for the producer here at Pit Road Productions. Certainly had to get a little bit of covers. Oh, yeah! That wasn't ideal either. Tuka Valkeasuo gets into it there with Jeffrey Atkins.
Yeah, dear. Tuka's had a terrible lap here, and unfortunately, Adkins getting involved as well. Well, Harker's gotten a slowdown now as well. Looks like he's seeing the potential for a top 5 slipping further and further away from him. Jeremy Childers and Mason Kuhn battling behind. That's a lovely move once again from Mason Kuhn. You can always count on him to stick his nose up the inside and pull the move off. Let's see how much further he can elevate himself here.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful pass. He's been absolutely on it today, but indeed looks like Tuka Valkeasuo. He's back at it this time with Kemal Kasim. So this could get interesting. Kemal definitely rocking a damaged car. That looked like more contact there. And indeed, Domenico Sayu literally trying to run away from these guys. I can't say that I blame him.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a part of all of this. These two drivers who came together on the previous lap, but into the pits comes Kemal Kasim to get the damage repaired. Tuka Valkeasuo, meanwhile, does not have a mechanical black flag, so he can race to the end from here. Round the outside of turn 1 on Domenico Sayu. Gets it done. That was stylish.
I almost feel like he was on roller skates at that point, but it is not the end here. Domenico Sayu still looking to try and fight back. Indeed, the Palestine driver, one of the few in the grid, indeed, definitely had some potent drives. It definitely varied by the venue, though. Definitely, I get it, Domenico. Some tracks I am not very good at. Some are very much over my wheelhouse. I call them princess-approved tracks, but indeed, these two guys duking out. Let's talk about Kaseo. They got a slowdown. He served it, but is this the opportunity here that Domenico Sayu's been looking for?
Oh, the over-under is blocked from the driver, and it looks like Tuka's all over the track at the moment, just trying desperately to stay ahead of Domenico here. Oh, firing it towards the apex. Yeah, I think Tuka is quite keen to defend this spot now. He's just trying to hold on to every bit of track position he can now.
Indeed, this is the club class battle for P6, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a little bit of a look further up, though, as Connor Bell now looking to get into it here with Bas van der Lee and indeed Adrian Hopp. So we did see Connor Bell had a slowdown a few moments ago, and it looks like that was Bas van der Lee's opportunity there to get by. Right now, though, Ian Joyner is currently leading it, and he's pulled away about a 1.3 second gap over Cairo Enns, and he's got another 1 second gap over Adrian Hopp. This may be it. This could be the club class win here for Enns. All he's got to do is bring it home.
Yeah, that's it. He has lost touch with Joyner, but that's not going to be too much of a thing to worry about there. Childers, meanwhile, has Tyler Harker alongside. Harker has fallen back into the battle between Mason Kuhn and Jeremy Childers, and now is just going to try desperately to hold on to the spot. He still needs to protect second place in the Club Class Championship for the moment. 7 minutes to go. My timing's telling me 4.5 laps remaining. There is still plenty more to come in this race, but it's been nothing short of action-packed, hasn't it?
It's been absolutely fantastic. Certainly, without a doubt, though, Alton Park was my favorite. By all means, if you're going to pick one from the season to watch, that would be the one. Certainly, we loved it. The racing was close. The interviews were fantastic. Indeed, the rivalry did nothing but build. But Rupesh Paneni, I'm yet again calling you out. I want to know why you weren't here, and then we'll decide if it is indeed a valid excuse. You should have been part of this championship battle.
Yeah, it's a shame that we haven't seen Rupesh here in the last couple of rounds, but if he comes back next season, I'm sure he's going to be right up the front once again. Keeping an eye then on 8th place Jeremy Childers as he tries to keep up with Tyler Harker and Mason Kuhn. Tyler's getting racy here. He's going to get up the inside of Mason at turn 1. Oh, just enough room left there. Mason has got a lot of pressure on him here at the moment.
Oh.
There's a little bit of coming together. They rub panels, and side by side they will stay out of turn 4. Is there anything that Harker can do to make the move here? Mason Kuhn showing that he can put on just as good of a defensive drive as he can an offensive.
Yeah, definitely. We've actually seen him do some incredible defensive drives before. Usually, though, he's having to make his way up that last couple of spots. Jeremy Childers, though, I'd say not the most aggressive driver in the field. And in this scenario, I have a feeling that may be his saving grace.
Yes, safety is often the most crucial part of getting a good result. Carlos Facania, meanwhile, finding himself in 10th spot.
Whoa.
And trying to make the move on Rich Meesters. He had a big look, but Rich was confident to turn in to the hairpin there. Philippe Masson is just behind him, and we've been waiting to see what Philippe can do this round. This is technically his home race, Philippe Masson being a Frenchman, so he's got a little bit of that home advantage for himself. His results have not quite reflected it that though. A 19th and a 16th so far today. This is the highest he's been today.
Well, on that angle, certainly Cadwell Park will be my home track, and honestly, I've never found anybody who actually really loved that track. Don't get me wrong, it's a challenging circuit, it's very small, it's very tight, and it's designed more for motorcycles, but certainly take a spec forward round there. It's a hoot, and you can indeed get 4 wheels off the floor, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we should do that. See how many people can get to do Cadwell Park. I'm thinking Spec Racer Ford, Formula V, no incident limit, no damage, and just drive cleanly. But you can rub double panels.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, lots of fantastic potential for events here. Lots of fantastic potential for a pass as well for Tyler Harker. Mason Kuhn defensive once again into the hairpin, and through this particular corner, he's been able to get a good exit most laps, but this time, Harker cuts underneath him and is going to try and force him to take a slightly compromised line here at the bottom of the hill. Can he hold on to the momentum here? Across the curb he will go. A little bit less grip out there. That's going to send him slightly wide, but there's nothing Jeremy Childers can do about it.
Yeah, fair play. I have a feeling these two guys are indeed duking it out. But right now, Cairo Ends has found himself back in the clutches here with Adrian Hopp, Connor Bell, and indeed Bas van der Lee applying all sorts of pressure. The battle that's going on between Mason Kuhn, Harker, and Childers, they're about 8 seconds behind. All he needs to do is bring this across the line here. As Adrian Hopp runs a little bit wide now. Oh, he's going to see an opportunity here for Connor Bell, who's also in the slipstream.
2 laps remain. Ian Joyner leads by 2.2 seconds. Have a look at the amount of momentum that Bell gets into turn 1 there. Almost gets into the back of Adrian Hopp. Could he sneak up the inside at turn 3? He'll certainly have a go of it. Ow! But the apex speed is slightly compromised, and Adrian Hopp stays ahead. There's some very brave driving going on here up the front.
Honestly, I don't know how some of these guys do it in real life. I have a feeling my ticker would indeed be loud enough to be heard from the Statue of Liberty, ladies and gentlemen, no matter if I was racing here in Canada. But certainly, I've got to say, incredibly close competition here. And a friendly reminder as well, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to do it later in the show. If you're looking to come out to Motorsport, also known as Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, I'm going to be there, ladies and gentlemen, as is Connor Bell and several people that you would have seen on these Pit Road production shows. Certainly the likes of Clay Morris, Seka Gohai, and John Bemberlid, and indeed more people will be there. Certainly Swelio, we'd love to see him there. I don't know if he is, but certainly if he is, we'll be happy to let you guys know. But by all means, come on out. I'd love to meet as many of you as possible, and I'm hoping to try and find my way into the commentary booth as well. So certainly keep your eyes down, keep your head down, and certainly if you can make it out to Mosport, it's going to be the Victoria Day weekend, which is in the middle of May. Let me know. We'd love to see you.
Absolutely. Shame I can't be there. I am stuck in Australia for the time being. Final lap of the season is beginning momentarily for Ian Joyner. His gap has increased out to 2.7 now, and it's all to play for second behind. Cairo Enns defends from Adrian Hopp. Connor Bell going to get amongst it with them. Enns is compromised slightly on the tighter line, but the inside is going to win out there, and that's going to leave the door open for Connor Bell to try and get through for a podium in the final race of the season. Round the outside of Adrian Hopp. Could he get it done on the power nice and early? Up the hill across the curb. He's going to have the inside for the hairpin. Here comes Bas van der Lee. He might take advantage of this.
Yeah, I'd definitely be putting a nose in there as Adrian Hopp, slightly different line, and that's an opportunity here for Bas van der Lee. I have a feeling if he's going to be aggressive, now is the time. Definitely stop holding back. If you're going to go for it, go all in. Indeed, he's in P5. Could he potentially get himself on the podium here in the closing stages of this final race?
Ian Joyner so far ahead that he's probably not thinking about this fight at all. Enns defensive again versus Bell, but the cut underneath from the coach there, that could be the move for second. Enns is wide. He just needs to make sure he doesn't lose the position to Hopp as well. It looks like he's managed to cover him off. Bell moves up into the runner-up position. Is Cairo going to try something at the final corner? No. Wise decision. Wait for the exit. Speaking of the exit, Ian Joyner disappears over the hill as he comes to take the final race win of the season, and we can officially call him the Split 1 champion of Season 6 of the Almeida Racing League. Bell finishes second, but Cairo ends on the podium. He will join Ian Joyner as a champion of this season. The club class going to the Canadian.
Still going.
What? Oh, it's happened again! I got caught out again by the timer! Oh, God! The Gardner Gaff is alive and well.
Oh dear, ladies and gentlemen, Reese Gardner, I don't think he's ready to quit at this point, but certainly the timing was for his end. But right now, it's not over yet. Connor Bell looking to try and hold on to second place. Cairo Enns still there in third. Adrian Hopp there, potentially with potential to find himself onto the podium. Don't get me wrong, Enns has done great today. He's been his best outing yet. And currently, even if Adrian Hopp finds his way past, he will still get that club class win. Because the next closest competition is Tyler Harker, who's down there in P7. He's just got to keep the car clean until the end of this race. So don't get me wrong, a double podium, I guess a triple podium, a quadruple podium perhaps. Certainly club class and indeed overall would be absolutely fantastic. And not only that, it is competition in the Premier standings as well. The club class drivers entered into the Premier set as well. I do have to wonder, could he maybe find his way onto another podium?
Yes, that is the question, but we have finally the answer to who's going to win the race. Yep, take two, marker and action. Ian Joyner wins the final race of the season, and he'll be the Premier Class champion in Split 1 for Season 6. Bell is going to defend that second from Enns, and I think now we can confirm Cairo is your club class champion from that. He nailed it at the final round precisely when he needed to. And the same can be said for Joyner as well. A win, a second, and a first for Ian Joyner. And Cairo Enns getting on the podium in races 2 and 3. Fantastic job from the both of them. And we'll certainly be having a chat to the both of them when the interviews roll around. Last couple of cars to come across the line here. It's going to be Domenico Sayu and Stephen Saunders, the last cars to finish on the lead lap. Stephen had a pretty tough one today, but he will see the checkered flag and be the official last car to cross the line for Season 6.
But certainly, let's give Stephen a little bit of recognition as well. He's an active community member and indeed has been heavily involved in helping the Academy grow. So certainly, while he may not have had the pace he was looking for today, he is by all means a crucial part of the community.
For sure. Always good to see individuals like Stephen Saunders a part of this fantastic community. Well, final results then. As the number 18 of Ian Joyner is going to cross the line in P1 with the biggest winning margin of the day. The racing up the front was just so close today. Bell and Enns are your final podium, with Adrian Hopp and Bas van der Lee rounding out your top 5. It's going to be Mason Kuhn finishing in 6th place. Very nice run from him, with Tyler Harker, Rich Meesters, Carlos Vacania, Zoltan Zomator rounding out the top 10.
As we have a look there in P11, it was Philip Falcon with Philippe Masson. Those guys are literally usually gridded next to each other and indeed finishing next to each other. Indeed, the Philippe and Philippe battle has been potent throughout the season. Indeed, Philippe Masson takes 12 with Tulka Balcasseo in 13. Certainly, Thomas Niemann, we did see him there in the Discord chat. And again, we're going to give you a stick. Why weren't you here, buddy? Certainly, your fellow Finland driver having to settle for 13th. With Jeffrey Atkins in 14th, Jeremy Childers in 15th, Domenico Sayu in 16th, with Steve Saunders in 17th. Kemal Kassim, definitely some interesting connection choices there. He was there in 18th with Barrett Blumett in 19th. Kane Halliburton there in 20th. And then we have a look down the final cars in the grid. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Adrian did not take to the start. Only Kevin, I did definitely miss your presence there. Not the final round you were looking for, but indeed, Reese, I understand you've been able to catch up with the what we do believe is the Premier Class champion. It's Ian Joyner.
Oh yes, coming into this round with the championship lead, and you were fighting up the front the whole way through, Ian. I think the final round couldn't have gone better for you.
Well, I could have won the second one as well, but it's pretty good. I'm not complaining. It was, it's really good. I really enjoy this track. Yeah, as I was just chatting to Kyra then, it was a couple of great races. Yeah, I didn't work out for Mason after the second one, but he certainly kept me looking at my mirrors in the first one. And you get the reverse grid. Did all right. Yeah, getting sort of forwards in that. Had a great scrap with Caro. Did really good job defence. And I was kind of glad we got a reset into the feature. And then, yeah, I sort of my happy place, I think, this place. I've not really driven it much before, but yeah, I felt great at the last few laps. Just enjoying. Probably one of my last races in the SRF for a little while, I imagine. So, yeah, it's great. Awesome way to finish the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can hold your head high because the Premier Class Championship for this one, you're the champion 2 seasons in a row, in fact. So the Spec Racer Ford certainly in your comfort zone, but we will be changing cars next season, and I suppose that's going to be a whole new wealth of skills that you'll have to apply with a couple of changes being made on the layout of the car in particular.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think the coaches back me up on this, that the skills are mostly the same. It's just refining the inputs to match how the MX-5 works. But yeah, it's certainly one to get used to. For anyone who's who's driven nothing other than the SRF for a little while, it'll feel quite strange getting in the Mazda. But they're amazing cars to race. I think it'll be a brilliant season in those. I think the first Almeida season was in them as well. They've obviously been a massive part of the iRacing Rookie Series for as long as I've been doing it anyway. So I think the racing will be brilliant in that.
For sure, and I'm sure we'll expect you to be right up the front or near it once again, Ian. A big thanks for joining us, and congratulations from both of us up here. Myself and Zippy have been singing your praises for a while now, and a well-earned championship for you. Enjoy it, mate.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, massive shout out to the whole academy. It's been a really fun season. Just a great general atmosphere. It's fun working with all the other guys in it. Big shout out to the coaches as well, Connor and Kane. Who've it's just we're so sort of fortunate to learn from their experience, both at pace and racecraft. So yeah, it's been a good season. Look forward to spending more time in the academy. So, and thanks, guys. Thanks for the broadcast. Look forward to watching it back.
Fantastic stuff. Ian Joyner there, winner of the final race of the season and the Premier Class champion. The Club Class champion, meanwhile, I think we can confirm is Cairo N. Zippy. You are stood by with him.
Well, I gotta say, Cairo, you have definitely been, it's been a roller coaster for you. It's been a lot of ups, it's been a lot of downs, and indeed, right now, I have a feeling if Brian Adams was gonna write a song, it'd be Cloud number 9. Oh wait, he did that, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly a absolutely terrible pun, but certainly, I have a feeling I may have hit the nail on the head. Cairo, tell us exactly how you're feeling right now.
Oh, I am absolutely ecstatic. It's so exhilarating. I wasn't entirely sure that I was gonna be able to make it up to P1 about 4 or 5 races into the season. I felt like it was going to be a very close battle, and sure enough, last round brought my points down a little bit, brought Tyler's back up, and I was sweating a little bit coming into this one, and needless to say, I'm sweating even harder now. So
Yeah, well, certainly, ladies and gentlemen, if you needed to do a workout, just come and race here in the Almeida Racing Academy. But certainly, Cairo, let's give a shout out to your old man as well. I'm going to call him old. It's fair. It's old. And then not only that, your mum as well. They have literally been here cheering you on every week. And not only that, Pit Road Productions' #1 fan, without a doubt, is Jake N. So certainly, now to take the time for you to do your shout outs. And by all means, if you've got sponsors, thank them. I have a feeling Mum and Dad's probably going to be at the top of that list. Indeed, I'll give you a little bit of advice here, courtesy of Razim Fazui. Do not put the dog before the girlfriend or wife. Just top piece of advice there.
Yeah. Definitely have to thank my parents. They've been so supportive ever since I started with the sim racing. It's great to have them watching all the way through. Big shout out to my wife. Amazing person. She's been so supportive as well. And yeah, it's just been absolutely amazing. Kind of a low-key shout out to Alien Pros as well. I just got their tennis wraps, put those on my wheel yesterday, and I think it did something for me. So
Okay, that's different. That's definitely not something I was expecting. Ladies and gentlemen, while his shirt may look like a tennis player would wear it, it looks like his wheel is also repping the... You're not wearing tennis shoes, are you, as well? Just while we're there, is there a secret formula that we don't know? But Cairo, I gotta say, it's been an absolutely hard-fought battle for you. I have a feeling we're going to see you back here in the next season where we are indeed switching up the car. The Miata's coming into town. Now, my experience of that thing, it's a little bit tail happy. What's going to be your approach to trying to tame that mighty Mazda?
Same as always. Downshift a little bit later than for most cars. It's actually pretty similar, I think, compared to the SRF. It's you want to be downshifting pretty late. Second to first is a kicker, though. You definitely want to be blipping hard on that one. But yeah, overall, I think it's going to be a very fun car. It's not a whole lot of power. It's going to be a great draft, and yeah, it's going to be some very good battling, I think.
Indeed, it will. Certainly, the Miata, one of the entry-level cars here in the iRacing service, and indeed, some of the racing. When you first start iRacing, it's a little bit much. You want to get yourself out of rookies as quickly as possible. Certainly here with the ARA, I have a feeling it's going to be an absolute belter. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and indeed, happy Saturday, because that is going to be exactly every different emotion that Kyron is going to be feeling right now. He is absolutely ecstatically pumped. He hides it well. Ladies and gentlemen, he hides it well. I'll say he's quite tame, quite modest on a camera. Indeed, he did sprint and potentially run off and give all the woo-wees and stuff like that. But certainly, Cairo, congratulations, my friend. Indeed, well fought, well earned, and indeed able to take the club class championship. We look forward to seeing you back next season, and indeed a valiant effort throughout the 11 rounds.
Thank you very much. I'll be very happy to be back again next season.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was indeed Cairo Enns, and we were going to have Adrian Hopp join us, and he's disappeared. So certainly, Adrian, if you're there, by all means, head on back, my friend. We'd like to have a chat with you too. But in the meantime, we've managed to steal one of the Academy coaches. Ladies and gentlemen, Connor Bell has joined us in the booth. Now, Connor, we're not going to celebrate your race wins and successes here in the sim because realistically, you are one of the alpha dogs here. And certainly, we want to hear a little bit more about what we got planned for the Academy and maybe some of your real world antics as well. By all means, let's start spilling some beans here, Connor.
Sure. So yeah, next season for season 7 of the Almeida Racing League. It's crazy, we're already 7 seasons in. Going back to the MX-5s, as you hinted to, we're going to be doing a mix of the rookie calendar, the advanced MX-5 series, and we're going to be running the PCC schedule as well. So it'll be a mix of those tracks throughout the season. We're going to have 2 endurance rounds again on some very, very cool tracks. So I'm sure Zippy will be looking forward to those.
Oh, yes.
And then we've also got some other things planned for the Academy involving the MX-5. I'll probably just spill the beans, but we're going to be dropping a mini course sometimes in the future for the MX-5 completely free to all gold members. So for those that want to get up to speed with the MX-5, learn all the little intricate details, that is coming very, very soon. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to find out where all the beans do indeed get spilled, you got to check it out here on Sfolio Almeida's channel. Indeed, I'm going to say it again, more interesting than League of Legends. 100% I'm making a roast there. And indeed, I have a feeling there's one person who'll pick it up. Certainly good fun indeed. And I've got to say a huge thank you to all of these guys. involved. Not just the academy, indeed the likes of Connor Bell, Suelio Almeida, Kyle Diaz Castro as well, and indeed Kane Halliburton, the academy staff, but indeed to the drivers as well. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show as entertaining as this. And honestly, some of the battles, some of the rivalries we've seen have been nothing short of fantastic. You know, certainly Drive to Survive is one thing. The Almeida Racing Academy is another, and I have a feeling I'm going to be backing this one a little bit harder. Certainly a lot more interesting, a lot more real-life drivers as well. I'm not saying that Formula 1 is fake. I'm just saying that these are guys that you can go up, you can meet them. Indeed, Connor Bell, you are going to be there at Victoria Day Speed Fest for NASCAR Canada. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we can look forward to that weekend as well?
Well, I will be racing that weekend in the NASCAR Canada Series. I don't want to release the full schedule just yet, but that should be announced in the next couple weeks. But yeah, looking forward to meeting Zippy there and having a good time at CTMP.
Well, certainly I am indeed looking forward to it. And Connor, when you get that schedule, by all means, send it over. We'll help share it for you on the Pit Road Productions social medias. The only downside to that is you might have to teach me how to work social media. Certainly Instagram, I've got no concept of how that works. It just keeps beeping at me and I just look at it, grunt and put it down again. But certainly, Connor, it's been an absolute pleasure. A huge thank you to yourself and indeed the guys behind the scenes as well. Certainly I do sympathize as well for the guys who organize the spreadsheets as well. I know it begins with an L. What's the guy's name? Begins with Lavin. Thank you. Certainly a huge shout out to Lavin as well for making it all compatible. And indeed, the organization involved is absolutely insane. But Connor, before we let you go, is there anybody else you'd like to shout out? Maybe any students that you feel particularly improved the greatest or indeed were, the biggest community members? By all means, let's take a little bit of a moment here to recognize some of the highlights for you from this season.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think everyone has improved so much. I know we say that every season, but if you look at the spread between the splits now, like a lot of people from Split 4 would be able to compete in Split 2, and that goes through all splits. So it's pretty impressive to see just how much improvement we've had this season so far. Looking forward to the next challenge in the MX-5, and shout out to Pit Road Productions for the great broadcasts all season long, keeping the action on the Pit Road Productions YouTube and Suelio Almeida's YouTube. So let's look forward to more, and yeah, good way to close out the season here today.
Indeed it is. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge thank you to Connor Bell, but we are going to bring this show to a close, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I've got to be honest, we've been so spoiled here having such fantastic racing, such a fantastic season. And indeed, I don't feel like there's anything that's really, what else can we really add to that? Like, it's been phenomenal. I think one of the only disappointment for me is seeing some of the guys who couldn't make it every week. Certainly, like the likes of Thomas Neiman and I think Edwin Rivera as well. Certainly, he had to go out and be a ski instructor, I believe, if I remember rightly. Rupesh Paneni as well. But some of the rivalries we've seen have been nothing short of fantastic. And indeed, don't get me wrong, we try and come across unbiased, but it's been great to see people that we've known and we've seen them get faster, like Cairo Enns as well. Like we used to see him race, and sorry, Cairo, like you were a liability at times on the track. And now look at you, you're club class champion. Like that is a huge improvement. And I'm so proud of these guys. Just so proud. Reese, before I end up putting my foot in my mouth in some way, which is probably typical of me, please take over and let's bring this show to a close. I gotta say, just so thankful to all of you involved, and by all means, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button on both Pit Road Productions and indeed on Suelio Almeida's channel as well, and share this broadcast. We'd love to see it all over social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and from me, it's been an honor once again to be involved with this series and to be able to see the level of development that these drivers have gone through over the last year and a bit. It's been fantastic to see, and I'm sure we'll be reaching brand new heights when we go live in a couple of weeks or thereabouts for the next season of the Almeida Racing League. Once again, we are switching cars and going to the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup. Miata Racing is always fun. I can't wait to see what this field does with it. Thanks very much, everybody, for watching. My name is Reese Gardner, Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the commentary box, and also producing behind the scenes. We are Pit Road Productions, whether you're from our channel or Suelio Almeida's channel. Thank you so much for watching once again. We'll see you when the Season 7 begins.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Suelio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Suelio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy, wait a race.